Welcome, I'm Kevin King. This is the fifth of our series of 6 training videos in which I will explain how our service tools can be used to service and fault find our inter-row vision guidance systems. Our service tools can be reached from the home page by touching on the Tools button, which will get you to this screen, displaying a menu of tools. Use the up and down arrow buttons on the right of the screen to move the small white triangular cursor to the appropriate line. Touching the return key selects that tool. The first 4 tools in this list involve transferring data, so it's necessary to first insert a USB stick into the socket at the base of the console. The first tool, Backup, copies all the configuration files, error logs and settings onto a USB stick and stores them into a file with the suffix .tgz. It's always a good idea to make a backup from a working machine, as it could help recover from future problems. The next tool does the reverse, restoring the contents of a backup.tgz file from a USB stick onto a console. You'll be offered the choice to copy all the configurations, including error logs and settings, or a partial restore of just the configurations. So in the scenario of a console having failed and a new replacement being fitted, a full restore will instantly return the machine to full working order, behaving exactly the same as before the failure. In a factory production scenario, where you wish to set up a number of machines in an identical way, you can save the time of individually entering parameters into each machine by doing it once, taking a backup, and doing a partial restore onto all the others. You can also apply software updates that have been placed onto the USB stick. These updates are customised and may be major updates to the main application software, or might be minor tweaks to branding. If there are multiple update files on your USB stick, you'll be asked which update you want to apply. In general, our preference is to keep older machines up to date, as it gives the user the best possible performance and provides the most up-to-date diagnostic tools, making service easier. Next, you have the option to capture images from the machine's cameras. This pops up the image capture tool, which allows you to save live camera images to a USB stick. It's normally only necessary to capture still images for the purposes of diagnosing problems. After capture, these can be downloaded from the USB stick and sent to an expert for interpretation. It's not normally necessary to capture video sequences. The tool is intended for product development purposes, where a sequence of images from challenging scenarios can be a valuable resource for software testing. Backup files and images can be emailed for remote diagnostics. The combination of a backup file and captured images gives someone fault finding remotely the next best thing to being in the field with you. We are very proud that our systems are used internationally, but are conscious that our own linguistic skills are limited. We are therefore particularly grateful to our many colleagues who have assisted in the creation of our translations. Selecting language reveals a page of flags. Select your choice of language by touching on the appropriate flag. A white border around the flag indicates it is selected. Then touch the return button. You will also be returned to the Tools menu, and all screens should now be in your chosen language, where a translation exists. If part of a translation is missing, it will revert to English. If your language is not represented, or the translation is incomplete or inaccurate, please contact us. Corrections and new translations are always very welcome. The next tool, Adjust Camera Allocation, allows you to change the order that the thumbnail images appear at the top of the working screen. It's important that the order left to right on the screen matches the order left to right on the implement. Remember, implement left and right are defined when looking forward in the direction of travel. You can also reorder cameras by physically changing their position. But this tool is simpler and avoids any potential alignment issues when moving cameras. Note that it makes no difference which of the implement module's camera connections are used. It is the camera, not the port, that is recognised. The tool also provides useful information for fault-finding cameras. So this is the camera allocation screen. It lists cameras top to bottom as they appear on the working screen from left to right. It displays their bus index, camera serial number and lens type, 6mm or 4mm. The live video thumbnails aid identification, so if you need to, you can wave at a camera to identify it. The thin arrow buttons move the cursor up and down to select the camera for rearrangement, greying out the line. The buttons with thick arrows adjust the order of the selected camera. Touching on the button with the bin symbol deletes the selected camera. As normal, the loop back arrow returns you to the service menu. When the system generates an error or warning, that event is logged. The error log can be viewed from the Advanced Settings and Diagnostics page, from where it's normal practice to clear the log once the problem has been resolved. That error log has not been deleted though. It is transferred to the archive, which can be viewed here. This gives you the opportunity to look for longer term issues that might have been recurring for some time. Next is the hardware map, which when selected produces a new page with a list of any microcontroller boards that are on our CAN network. This is that page and the list of microcontroller boards connected to the system. It also shows their connection hierarchy. You can use the arrow buttons on the right to select a board, turning its text from blue to white. Touching on the return key gets a new screen up, giving more detailed data on the selected board. This example shows a single section interrow guidance system, fitted with a feeler override board for mechanical row following. Here we have selected the main microcontroller board that is fitted in the implement module. It displays some very useful live diagnostic information. The first 3 lines reflect how the dip switches on the microcontroller board have been set. In this case, the auxiliary output on the valve connector has been set to provide night working light control. It has been fitted with a second potentiometer and is configured for bang-bang hydraulic steering valves. The central block gives diagnostic information relating to CAN bus and valve outputs. For example, in this case, a red square is warning that there is no steer valve connected. The bottom block of 4 parameters relate to inputs. The green square indicates that the lift sensor has been triggered. The 2 potentiometers are both connected and are almost fully retracted. The odometer is indicating that the machine is not moving. If we were instead to select the feeler board from the hardware map, we would be able to see if the board had power and check if the CAN bus was communicating okay. The bottom block of 4 parameters indicates the status of the board's 4 inputs. If an input is on, the adjacent square turns green. Back to the Service Tools menu now. Next we can ask the machine what software is installed. For an interrow machine, there would normally only be one, interrow guidance. On the next line you are given the option to remove one of those software applications. This should only be used with the utmost caution as there is no go back option. It's intended to only remove unwanted demo software that might have been fitted on a demonstration machine before it was sold. And finally, you have the option to reset the PIN number required for entering the configuration editor. The default is 1234, but you can reset if required. It is really only intended to stop novice users who casually scroll through the screens from accidentally changing something. If you forget the code or are locked out, please contact us or your dealer for reset instructions. When you are done with the service tools, select Exit from the top of the list to return to the home screen. To help with fault diagnostics more generally, there are a number of resources available. The most comprehensive source of information is the full reference manual, which is available in English, French, Spanish and German languages, as well as a full description of the system and how to set it up. It includes fault finding information such as lists of system error codes, microcontroller blink codes and troubleshooting flowcharts. There are also YouTube video tutorials that can be accessed from our website that help with setup issues. We hope that you found this presentation useful. Remember that it's part of a series of 6 videos that you can select from our website and view them as many times as you want. Our website also has links to other reference and training material, including full reference manuals in English, French, Spanish and German. If you have any questions, please get in touch. Thanks for watching.